Bro, I'm low-key faded, bro.
Highway.
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
They ain't ready. They ain't ready, Joe. They ain't ready. Here we go.
I'm gonna go out here, guys.
What is it? You ain't Mexican. What is that?
I love to a little bit though, so I dig a little deep in there, right? But yeah, you did that.
He's in the building.
Oh, bro, I'm low-key faded, bro.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Frisco Report, bros. It is the night of nights, the billions watching across the world as we hit the stage. Tuesday Night Live with my co-host, Cowboys Corner. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, you guys? Another Tuesday, another Frisco Report. All right. Hope everyone's having a great week. Tomorrow, hump day, the middle of the week, with 2 to go. So hopefully you guys are doing fantastic.
It's time, bro. Mike, we'll touch on the disaster that was the choke of chokes, the Vikings game, right? Cowboys had an opportunity to stay in the hunt. It's over, dude. Cowboys choked it up. Mike, what was the number one thing that you took from that loss, bro?
Cowboys are the Cowboys. You know, they were 500 for a reason going into that game. They weren't very good. I thought they could beat them, but as you've seen with the game going the way it was going, they proved me wrong, like they usually do. But at the end of the day, man, this is who the Cowboys are. As Joe said, win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. Win 3, lose 2. All right? About to lose a third one against these Chargers. That's what 500 teams do.
Yep. No. That's right on. That it's right, and it's sad that we can predict this already, man. You know? But they do tease you, right? The Cowboys do a good job of teasing you, keeping you, kind of locked in. But now it's essentially it's over, bro. Like it's not mathematically over, but I mean we're being real here, Mike. There's no way they get in, Mike.
No. I mean 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. I mean I sat right here and told everybody we weren't going. The Quentin Williams, the Logan Wilson moves, stuff like that. That was all for next year, and I wasn't going to get my hopes up and act like we just everything's hoary glory. No, I can't. I don't like to forget how we got here. I can't forget that Eagles game where CeeDee Lamb dropped all those passes. I can't forget the Rick O'Dowd running over 200 yards on us. I can't forget how Caleb Williams still did this defense. Like, I can't forget it. And so when I have to look at games different when things ain't going right. It was the Raiders. It was a spiraling downward Eagles team, and then we beat the Chiefs in a one-score game that 5 other teams did. And before that, they were 12-0. If they were 5-0, it'd be different. But we did what 5 other teams did, and that was beat the Chiefs in a one-score game. They're not good. They haven't been good. Texans beat them. A few other teams already beat them as well since the Cowboys beat them down. It's just I have to take that into consideration in our past things, and I just knew that the playoffs were not at stake for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, man. It's no, you make a good point there, right? Like there was like hallmark losses all spread all over the season. When you have that, that's just not a good team. It's not a playoff worthy team. You know, we talked about it last week. Is it even worth making the playoffs? Get one and done, right? Or just done. Not even one, just straight done, right? So I also remember that too, man. When you're mentioning that, I remember Jacoby Brissett tearing it up, bro. Like, can you believe
The
that, dude?
Cardinals game, yeah.
It wasn't even Kyle Murray. Can you imagine if Kyle Murray would have been out there? Would have been like 100 to whatever the hell it was. Like, this team just wasn't good enough. Talent wasn't good enough. Will McClay hasn't been good last few draft classes. His pro personnel moves have not been good. You know, you have some moves that were good here and there, but for the most part, too many misses, Mike. Too many cheap clearance sale free agents. Too many hoping that you can turn around former first round busts into something. And setting your lineup like that's just not good. It's not going to get it done, Mike. And the overall theme of this year was the defense was just atrocious to me. I think that's the number one thing I take from the season is that while the offense had its moments and was able to score points, and they looked pretty high octane at moments, the defense was just so bad that it really canceled out some of the highlights that the offense did this year, Mike.
Absolutely. And we can harp on the defenses too. I'm gonna harp on the offense, Joe. Like, when we needed the offense to step up, they weren't there, and a lot of these guys were fully healthy. Now, shout out to Javonte Williams. Shout out to George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb's like 30 yards away from 1,000. Like, the offense did so good, but yet there's still a lot of things, a lot of moments we can go back in this season and say, man, that offense really didn't step it up right there when they were supposed to. Like, the inconsistencies of Schottenheimer playing for field goals versus going for it. Like the Minnesota Viking games, Joe. I mean, Schottenheimer showed a bunch of. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
you have nothing to do. Why are we kicking field goals? You should have went for it on every single fourth down on the Vikings 50 plus. Why were we kicking field goals? It made no sense. He played too scared, and I have a fear, Joe, that when it really matters the most, Schottenheimer is going to be even more scared. I don't think he's going to learn anything from this, because there was times during this year where he didn't learn a lot of stuff. CeeDee Lamb went down with the injury, missed 5 games, and CeeDee Lamb was just doing end arounds again. Like, are you kidding me? Like, do you not realize what just happened? Season of the line, you got your star wide receiver doing end arounds again. Stupid stuff like that will hurt this offense all day, every day, any day of the week.
Yeah, no, you do make a good point. Yeah, it really was a full team letdown. You know what I mean? It's staying with the offense a little bit here, Mike. One thing that I didn't like either, and this isn't like the wrap up show or anything like that. We're just talking in general here, open discussion pretty much. But the offensive line, Mike, the play of your tackles was not good either. Guyton, where was that leap? I think he took a leap backwards. I definitely didn't see any kind of second-year leap out of Tyler tap-out Guyton. And Terrence still looks like he's just going through the motions, Mike. What's your thoughts on the O-line?
Yeah, man. Booker. I mean, not Booker. Yeah, Booker was hurt. Cooper Beebe got hurt for a couple of games. I like what T.J. Bass and Brock Hoffman was able to do to fill in. Did Brock Hoffman have, consistency towards the end before Cooper Beebe? No, but he was able to hold it off. And big shout out to Danny Savage. Danny Savage called it this offseason. He said Brock Hoffman is not a starter, but he's good enough for at least 8 games. And Brock Hoffman gave us those 8 games. So shout out to Danny Savage, the draft guru. But when and then Tyler Smith had some penalties, had some things. Tyler Guyton had way more penalties, holding, pre-snap penalties. Terrence Shield just got beat almost every other play. Connor, I expected more out of Connor Riley. I really did. Like
Yeah.
I expected more out of Connor Riley than I actually did Matt Eberflus, because the program that he ran there with Kansas, it was a tight program. All right, a lot of he's got offensive linemen drafted into the NFL, Cooper Beebe being one of them. So when you look at that and you look at the players, right? Terrence Steele, 3 years removed from the ACL injury, still looks like doo-doo. Tyler Guyton on the left side, coming in off injury, had a knee scare, missed some games, still looked like doo-doo. Overall, as the collective offensive line, Joe, it wasn't great. I mean, and you know what put the stamp on it, dude? The game against the Minnesota, because they got confused. Communication was not there. Dak was running for his life, and Dak got sacked a lot.
Mm-hmm. No, it is a good point, man. Coach Riley, I don't know if it was like the leap was a little too big for him from the college ranks into full blown the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, that's a huge leap, right? We talk about the spotlight being too bright for some of the players. It can happen to coaches too, right? So I'm with you, man. I did expect more out of Riley as far as like development and this sorts of thing, especially BB. I got to be honest. BB looks like okay to me. You know what I mean? He looks he looks a tad better than Biadish, which isn't saying much. I wasn't a big fan of Biadish. You know what I mean? So I'm not that impressed with that. I feel like you can upgrade over BB at some point. I really do, but that's for another video. But a great point there, Mike. Yeah, dude. There is a lot of holes on this team when you look forward to how do you fix this team or how do you improve it to become more competitive for next season. There's holes on both sides of the ball. But let's talk about defense here, Mike. Let's talk about what everybody's talking about, and that is the fate of Matt Eberflus. There's no way that this guy could possibly be brought back. There's just no way, Mike. What are the percentages that Matt Eberflus returns to the Cowboys defensive coordinator, in your opinion, Mike?
I think I knowing the Cowboys, I think they like Aaron Whitecotton a lot. I think they like a couple of these position groups on the defense side with these coaches. So whenever you get a new defensive coordinator in, especially if you get an external one in, you have a chance to lose those positional group coaches like Aaron Whitecotton and some other guys, right? Jerry has to fork up a little bit of cheese and put the new defensive coordinator in a tough spot to want to keep those guys, because the defensive coordinator is going to want to bring in his own people. Now, I think because of that, I think Matt Eberflus has a good chance of staying. I do. I would put it along as a 70% chance that Matt Eberflus stays, because Jerry is going to be scared to lose some of these coaches here on this defense side of the ball.
I want to throw up. All right. I want to throw up, like the kind of throw up where you hold it, it comes out through your nose. That's what I feel like doing right now at that percentage. Mike, I'm going to say that he has a 10% chance of coming back. I think some of what you're hearing from Steven and Jerry Jones, a little bit of a hint. It used to be more of, yes, it felt more supportive, when you're looking at the bye week when they asked him this question, as to when you heard him the other night or here recently on 105.3 Fan. It sounded like the door is completely open, that reanalyze and bring somebody else in this bitch, bro. But we'll see. We will see, man. I think you make a good point to why they could bring them back. Cowboys, they have a hard time digging in there, grabbing those nuts and making moves. They like to be real, just like, I don't know, man. Like they don't want to. As risky as you hear Jerry being like the businessman and and this kinds of thing like rolling the dice and this kind of shit. It's some of these moves are opposite of that. It's really weird, right? So we'll see what happens there, Mike. But some names are starting to pop up. There's chatter here, Mike, that one of the sought after defensive coordinators could be that of Jim Leonard, the passing game coordinator, assistant head coach for Sean Payton, Mike. Jim Leonard. What do you think about that, bro? Would you be down for that?
He Broncos. He's the coach for the Broncos right now, ain't he?
Yeah, he's a passing game coordinator, assistant head coach.
Broncos are leading the defenses, but it's hard. How do you take that success of what the Broncos are doing and transfer that into the defense? Dan Quinn was able to do it because of Michael Parsons, and getting that pressure and that stuff like that. I think yeah, look at that. He helped Pat Surtain, defensive player of the year, or potential defensive player of the year. And they shut down our offense again. They have Dak's number over there. Anybody. Hell, I think Mike Nolan would be better than Matt Eberflus at this point. Bring him on. I like it.
Yeah, and then this falls right into your boy Mike's super chat here. With Eberflus likely gone, who do you guys think the next defensive coordinator should be? 4 defensive coordinators in 5 years. That's embarrassing. It is embarrassing, but it has to be done. You can't stick with the same guy just for the sake of sticking with the guy and saying, "Oh, we're embarrassed. We're just gonna stick with this guy," right? Like it's just bad selections, and it just shows kind of how the struggles have been here, right? But you're talking about Jim Leonard here. It is this is Ian Rappaport, and this is from last year. This is from earlier this year. January 27th. He turned down 3 defensive coordinating positions. He turned down a promotion. I don't think that happens this year. I think he takes a promotion. And could it even be possible that somebody even thinks that he may even get interviewed for a head coaching position? Possibly. I would go out on a limb and say that he might even be in that contention. There's going to be a lot of openings. You know what I mean? Some of these teams, they like the next hot shot coordinator. And although he's not a coordinator right now, he's one of these guys that in league circles, it could be the next up and coming kind of dude, right? So some people may want to get ahead of it and just be like, forget coordinator, he's going to be our head coach. You know what I'm saying, Mike? Like it could be that kind of off season here for Jim Leonard. I feel like, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's under a Sean Payton coaching tree. All right, that's a good tree to be under. Look what he's doing with Bo Nix. Look what he's doing with that defense over there. So he understands winning culture. So yeah, I could absolutely see teams identifying that and hire him as a head coach.
Indeed. Now, where the connection comes into play here, Mike. There's a connection here, right? There's a connection between Jim Leonard and Brian Schottenheimer. All right.
Were they teammates or something?
I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you this deal right here, bro. I'm about to show you the info of info. Info Wars. Remember that? Remember that show?
I do.
Or all right, check this out, dude. So we're looking at Brian Schottenheimer, right? This is Brian Schottenheimer. This is Brian Schottenheimer's wiki, bro. All right. You look right here. Jets offensive coordinator, if I can get this thing to act correctly. 2006 to 2011, right? You see that? Brian Schottenheimer with the Jets, right?
Yep.
No. Here's where it gets interesting. Here's where it gets interesting, Mike.
You're the quarterback coach that year.
Check this shit out, dude. Check this out, dude. This is Jim Leonard wiki. All right. As a player, Jets. He was a player with Brian Schottenheimer, bro. Look at this. In that time span, they were together. So,
oh yeah, 1 year.
The connection is there. 2009, 2007. Schottenheimer was there from 07 to 2011. So they spent a pretty good amount of time there together with the Jets. So they do know each other here. This would not be something pulled out of thin air, as I say. The connection indeed is there. And, like we brought up before, it's all about Schottenheimer wants to bring in somebody he's familiar with, right? And we talked about some names last time, but this one just feels like it would be the one to make. A young man, 43, energetic. That Denver defense is booming right now. I mean, he's part of it, right? Vance Johnson, I think, is the actual DC over there. I don't know if he'll get another opportunity or not, but either way, I'm taking Leonard, bro. I want to insert him here and get this thing rocking and rolling, baby.
Yeah, dude. I like it. I like that he's under, the Sean Payton coaching tree. How Sean Payton develops that game plan, understands the game plan. I think Schottenheimer needs a guy like that. I think Matt, and he's young too, so he'll be energetic. I think Matt Eberflus is just a yes guy. I don't think he helped Schottenheimer as much as I wanted him to. If you look on in-season Hard Knocks, it looks like Matt Eberflus is non-existent. All right, I need some of that influence for Schottenheimer.
Yeah. So that'll be the name, the hot name there. Your boy Will McClay needs to go. He absolutely needs to go. Please, somebody take this guy and hire him away, please. Enough is enough. Speaking of this, we were talking about this offline, Mike, about some of the surgeries, right? So it came out that Pat Mahomes got his surgery by none other than the quack Dr. Cooper. Not good, bro. I feel bad for Patrick Mahomes. I feel bad for the Kansas City Chiefs fans because that's it, bro. He will never be the same. And it's a thing that not a lot of people, some people are starting to catch on to this, though. For a while, it was like, yeah, this dude did the surgery, badass, right? Now it's the kiss of death. All right.
Yeah, we brought it to light on the Frisco Report maybe 3-4 years ago, and we've been watching it. I mean, you look at the guys like Michael Gallup, Terrence Steele, Jabril Cox, Jalen Smith.
Yep.
They haven't been the same. Look at Trayvon Diggs. Did he do Siobhan Rebel's surgery too?
He did. He absolutely did. Yep.
And look at that, dude. The dude jumped to tweak something and missed more time.
Yeah.
I think it's scary. I think this has to be studied by the NFL. Because this is people's careers, man. This is people's careers, and I think the NFL needs to pay more attention to those analytics instead of touchdown analytics. They look at players' health analytics. It's scary stuff.
And here's the other thing that we talked about, Mike. Our boy, he knows. And we're talking about Micah Parsons. We found out that he had his surgery by Eugene Curry here in Dallas, right? Eugene Curry, orthopedic ankle knee surgeon. He didn't go with Dr. Cooper. So great job, Micah. You did the
and
right
he knows
thing, bro. He knows, dude. He knows, man. So shout out to him, man. He did not go to Dr. Cooper, man. Thank God for that, bro. Like, I have no ill will towards Michael Parsons, man. You know what I mean? I like him as a player. I like to see him, in action. Except whenever we play against him, obviously. But yeah, I think that was the right move, man. He saved his career by going with a different surgeon.
100%, dude. And if anybody would know, Micah would know. He understands Dallas Cowboys have one of the worst strength and conditioning coaches in all of football. And it stems from the immediate surgery of the hands of Dr. Dan Cooper. So Micah's seen it. He's seen what what Trayvon Diggs was going through and is going through with that knee. And Micah said, nope, U-turn.
Only more comments in here. Danny Savage, good to see you in the chat box, bro. I take Rex Ryan, Aaron Glenn as defensive coordinator. Interesting. Would Aaron Glenn be one and done with the Jets, Mike? Is that possible?
I don't think so. When Quentin Williams got traded, he was bought in heavily to what Aaron Glenn was teaching over there, and he said just give him some time. Aaron Glenn will change it around, and he was already noticing some things that have been changing already with Aaron Glenn there. So I think the Jets will give him at least 2 more years.
Would be interesting. Raheem Morris, Atlanta. I think this is year 2. It hasn't been good there. Any interest in bringing in Raheem Morris if they do a regime change there in Atlanta, Mike? Is he somewhere that would pique your interest?
Oh yeah. Bring him on over here, because for a while there, the Falcons' defense was their strength. And I'll be okay with that.
Rex Ryan, however, I don't know if I would take him. I feel like Rex Ryan would be like somebody that would kind of undermine you, like be like low key wanting to get the head coach job and like sabotage you, kind of like Dan Quinn did to Mike McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I know he's been wanting to get back in the league, and he's been trying to, get with Jerry to hire him, bro. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I trust Rex Ryan here, bro.
No, the league's changing. Rex Ryan hasn't been in the league coaching in years. It's a little different with the RPOs, and Rex Ryan's whole thing was, I got a scheme to beat Tom Brady. And when he did, it made national news almost. So a lot has changed since then. So I don't know if Rex Ryan's defense will be suitable enough in today's NFL.
Yeah, that's a good point too, right? And the Ryan brothers, right? They just weren't very good. I mean, Rex had success, but we're talking about, feels like an eon ago, right? That he had success with. He had success with the Jets, but mainly you kind of remember him more as that Super Bowl run with the Ravens, right? So, but yeah, that just seems like so long ago. So,
Primetime Phil, what's going on?
Primetime Phil in the house. What's up, bro?
Merry Christmas to you and yours. Him and Brian run a good show over there. I'm always a listener. I might not comment all the time, but I'm always a listener.
Primetime Phil, bro. Welcome.
Someone here. Here's another name. Yes. Richard Gasada, 524. They should have made Al Harris defensive coordinator. This is interesting that you bring that name up. He is in Chicago right now as a DB coach, doing really good things over there, Mike. So, learning under Dennis Allen, right? Another Sean Payton kind of dude. Parcells kind of dude, right? There's a theme here, right? You got Ben Johnson, who is under homeboy here, Detroit, who is a Parcells guy. Dennis Allen under Sean Payton, who's another Parcells guy. The Parcells tree is very successful in this league, bro. Todd Bowles is somebody that has done relatively well, with the Bucks. So I like the Parcells tree, man. It's still out there. It's still putting out solid coaches, solid assistants. So Al Harris getting that knowledge, that mentorship from the defensive coordinator there. I mean, he's probably learned something good, man. You get a good crossover of some Dan Quinn influence, Dennis Allen. What's your thoughts on him being probably interviewed? I would think the Cowboys may interview him for defensive coordinator here, Mike. What's your thoughts on Al Harris?
You got to bring him in. You have to do these players justice here and bring him in. I mean, look at what Deron Bland looked like without Al Harris here.
Yes,
it was terrible, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Deron Bland isn't the same player that he was under Al Harris. All right, I think Shavon Revel could benefit from a guy like Al Harris.
Yes.
Kalen Carson. I mean, look what Al Harris was able to do with Josh Butler before he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
So Al Harris coming in here will be beneficial to our defense, 1,000%.
And I believe everything you said. I agree 1,000%, Mike. I love the idea of Shavon Revel save that career. Right now, if you keep Eberflus here, you're gonna ruin that kid, bro. He will be a bust. And you bring in Al Harris. I love what he did with the secondary, man. I'll be honest. I thought he did a great job. Obviously, there was some friction between him and Trayvon Diggs there at the end, but Trayvon's probably not going to be here, so he won't have to worry about that as a headache. He'll be able to concentrate on the secondary, the defense. I think that's a low-key good candidate, quite honestly. That's a good name, Richard. Appreciate it, bro. Really good one.
Christian, we spoke on Rex Ryan already. Danny Savage said Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator, Ohio State. If I'm going college, Joe, and y'all probably kill me in the chat, but give me the Colorado defensive coordinator, dude. Give me Livingston. That's a 4-3 guy. Robert Livingston, Colorado defensive coordinator. He's known for some good defensive schemes. I mean, he's primarily 4-3. But if I'm going to go in the collegiate level and pluck somebody there, it'll be Robert Livingston.
Interesting you bring that up, because I'm thinking back, and I'm kind of circling back to Jim Leonhard, right? Would we do a hybrid kind of defense here? Would this now be a 3-4 sprinkled in with a 4-3 or a 5-man front or something like this? I think you have the creativity there, and the Broncos, they run that type of defense, right? You got Nick Bonito coming off the edge as an outside linebacker, right? So they're kind of running
good.
They're kind of running that kind of system here, and it attacks the quarterback, which we need. That would benefit Donovan Ezra-Rocco. I keep saying that. To me, he would benefit being an outside linebacker, in my opinion.
I think so. I'm with you there. I think a 3-4 with Quentin Williams, Osa, Kenny Clark. I think there's some good. God, I wish Marshawn Nealon didn't do that, because he would benefit from it in a 3-4.
He would have been a great 5 tech for us, man. That's what I always thought Nealon was, and they just didn't utilize him good here. But of course, we also had a terrible defensive coordinator. But yeah, man, you're right. Absolutely, bro. What other names do we have floating around here in the chat box? Let's see what else we got here, Mike. You see any others that stand out here to you?
Somebody said exclusive access to taste, said Warren Sapp. And
Warren Sapp, I think he's doing D-line at Colorado, right? Is that where he's at?
Yeah, he is. Yep. Deion Sanders took care of him, because he was one of the players that got broke He put all
Oh,
his
yeah.
money into real estate and got broke, and
Mhm.
Sanders bailed him out, man. Dion helped him tremendously.
Help them out, man. That's true. But I see Warren Sapp more as a D line coach. I don't know if he's. I could be wrong, but I don't know if he's. I don't know if he has that mind of a full DC coordinator. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just feel like he might be more his strength as a D line coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But definitely another name to think about. There's a lot of names here. The DC from Indiana. Obviously, Indiana did their thing against the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's got to be of some sort of merit there. But I just don't see Jerry Jones and these guys. They don't like to step out of their comfort zone, and going into the college ranks hasn't been their thing, right? It hasn't been their thing since they brought in Jimmy here. For whatever reason, they really don't really do it. Schottenheimer had some. He had some flexibility, though. I got to say that they were able to bring in some college coaches, right? You got Riley, their wide receiver coach. I think the running back coach too. So that was a little bit surprising there. So maybe what if Schottenheimer gets some flexibility and goes for somebody in the college ranks? That could be something interesting to watch.
100%. And if the rumors are true that Jerry and Steven hired Matt Eberflus, they set their head coach up for a failure. Hindsight's 2020. I get it. I mean, technically they did, but that head coach should be able to pick every coach that's going to coach for him. And I think they need to step that back and let him do it.
Oh yeah, Christian Legault. I say we go and get Robert Saleh. Where's he at? 49ers?
He's with the 49ers, yeah.
Which,
if you're going to get somebody from the 49ers, there's a guy, their defensive line coach. All right. I don't know how to say his last name, but it's Kosurek. First name's Chris. Let's call him Chris Coe. Chris Coe from 49ers. If you want to get you a defensive coordinator, that's another name to look out for. 49ers defensive line coach.
We got a super chat here from your boy, Brian Flores.
Think about that, Brian Flores. He's with Minnesota.
That was going to be tricky, dude. Yeah, he's already a defensive coordinator. So that was going to be tricky.
He is defensive coordinator, but here's the key. He is on an expiring contract. So unless the Vikings extend him or he accepts the offer, he could be available. So that's something interesting there. They wouldn't be able to block that move because he's on an expiring contract, right? So once that contract hits midnight, he's available, bro. Like, I honestly wouldn't mind Brian Flores, bro. I think he puts out a solid defense, proven. I mean, he's done really good defensively where he's been, Mike. I would like that. I think that would be a solid move, man.
Jerry in the NFL, always got issues. Brian Flores looks like he's winning his lawsuit. Jerry Jones be like, you know what? I want Brian Flores on my team. Screw the NFL. I can see that.
I would love that too, man. Jerry has a thing, right? Definitely not a friend of Goodell. Well documented.
Well documented.
Mm-hmm. The rivalry is legit right there.
See, I like White Cotton too, but I don't know if I can trust him as a defensive coordinator just yet. I really don't know if I can trust him. Because he's been in a lot of failure organizations too, and that's not his fault. But how has he, outside of Quentin Williams, what else does he have on his resume? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I think that whoever the DC comes in here, I don't think none of these guys are safe, man. Let the DC bring in his dudes. You know, somebody that he trusts and he doesn't have to question. Yeah, Quinnen is fine. He doesn't need White Cotton, bro. That was just some little gimmick, some little sprinkles that they threw in there. You know, brought him back and this kind of shit. David Watson mentions Chris Shula of the Rams, Sean McVay, defensive coach. I think Chris Shula is going to have some opportunities too, dude. I think he's one of these up and comers that he'll probably be in this head coaching interview circuit. I would not be surprised because the Rams, they're kicking ass right now, bro. And the further they go into the playoffs, which I think they're going to, that name is going to be red hot, Mike. Chris Shula.
Rams, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Rams and their organization, dude. They're top notch organization. And you know, again, I'm big on coaching tree. You know, the guy that we just talked about under Sean Payton, this guy under Sean McVay, winning culture. Bring it in, Joe. Bring it in 100%. We need some winning culture here, dude. We just do.
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus came from losing culture. All right, with the Bears. We need some winning culture in this biatch.
Yeah, he came from Marinelli, which not good, bro. I think wasn't it under Marinelli when Detroit they had like the record, like they didn't win any games or some shit.
Right. Yeah. 0-16.
There is no Marinelli tree, and it wasn't good. It wasn't up to snuff, as I say. See what else we got in here. I like the content. I love the discussion. It's been great here. I think that's all we have tonight. I think we'll cut it there. You know, good names. Great discussion on the potential coordinators. Appreciate everybody join live tonight. Super chats, great questions as well. Mike, let everybody know where they can find you if they haven't already, bro.
Yeah, Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube. _ Cowboys Corner on Twitter. All right. Thank you guys for watching. If there's 63 people watching right now, if you guys can click like right now. There's 3 people out of 63, 3 people. Click like for me and Joe. It really helps the stream, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in, tapping in, and just listening to us talk.
It's coming, bro. It's coming. It's almost draft time, bro. We're getting closer to it. We'll start doing some mock drafts, mock draft insanity, as we call it. It's going to be good times coming up here in the offseason. But for right now, we got a couple more games to get through, and we'll see if Matt Eberflus survives the season. That's all I'm really looking at right now. I don't want any of my franchise players getting hurt. So let's see how they juggle that, Mike.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah, that's it, bros. We'll see you for the next episode of the Frisco Report. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.